Good afternoon, my friends. Good afternoon. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my live stream. Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Lefevre. I'm a citizen journalist. My website is wildnews.us, and I like to mouth off on things political, things cultural, things interesting. And this afternoon, I'd like to bring us all up on what's going on in our country. We live in tremendously interesting times. We're watching a huge cultural and political shift. For roughly 100 years, we were asleep. We Americans, we were asleep. We trusted that we live in a democratic republic where we elect our public officials who even though some sometimes corrupt, have our best interest at heart. And you know what? Since internet came about, slowly but surely, we're all woken up, and we live in a society where a small number of unelected people, wealthy, mostly men, children of wealthy parents, or unofficial, I shouldn't say unofficial, our aristocracy actually runs things contrary to what the popular will dictates. Um, this upcoming elections would be crucial in many ways, and our behavior as men, and I'm not including women into this, gents, will be crucial too. It's about time that we men take the destiny of our own destiny and the destiny of our country in our hands. For so many years, we were asleep, and I'm afraid most of us men, started believing that the Marxist, cultural Marxism propaganda is the way the world is. That big government is supposed to take care of everybody, that women can do everything that men can do, that global warming is man made, and we should pay more taxes to avoid the catastrophe, that gender is fluid, and anybody that I can decide this evening that I want to be a woman and I can become one. And nonsense, unscientific nonsense of that sort. The sad part of it is the only reason that the elites through Hollywood, through corporate controlled media, are spouting that nonsense and promoting that nonsense is to control us. To control us. Thank God the internet came about and we woke up. The fact that we elected Trump is not an accident. He himself is a man, he's immortal, but he is a symbol. He is a symbol of freedom. Now, it is really called to arms. Not the kind of arms that shoot, not the kind of arms that kill, but it's called to arms to wake up and for us men to assert our authority. The middle class men assert our authority over our country. As you can see, all the administrators, the minders, the petty bureaucrats, corporate controlled media, high school administrators, the college administrators, they have only one goal, is to control our children and control us, to indoctrinate us into collectivist ideas. Big government will solve everything. We need to be lulled to sleep, and we need to pay our taxes, and we need to listen to big brothers and big sisters because they know best. Well, this is enough. They've been censoring us, by the way. Alex Jones is very good at covering that. How efficiently Google, YouTube, Facebook, and the like have been censoring conservative and libertarian voices. I guess what I'm saying is that we men need to start mouthing out for I don't know how else to say it. When we see something that doesn't comport to freedom and libertarian and conservative ideas, we can't just shut up and just pass by and hide our beliefs. There's a lot more of us than of the collectivists. And also, the collectivists are soy boys. They're beta men. As soon as they're confronted with alphas like us, they cower, they hide. There's a lot of talk about the Civil War. We're not in the Civil War. Civil War is a terrible thing. Civil War is when the two armies duke it out using modern weapons. If, God forbid, the shooting starts in our country, it's not going to end for a long time, and millions of people will die. It will devastate all the infrastructure. There will be mayhem, atrocities, millions of dead, millions of displaced people, tragedy of unimaginable proportions. I talked about that before, and the way I see it starting is Soros and his buds will try to create a color revolution. The color is purple. And at first it will be peaceful, then Antifa and other thugs are going to be introduced to create some mayhem. Then controlled opposition, such as white nationalists, which don't exist organically. They're supported by the hard left because they're so ridiculous. There's no popular. There will appear some crisis actors or some deranged people who believe in white supremacy, and they will duke it out with the Black Lives Matter and Antifa and their likes, under the pretext of mayhem and disorder. The deep state will arrest all the conservatives and libertarians of a prominent nature, turn off the internet, turn off our cell phones, introduce the foreign military private companies to maintain order. Donald Trump will probably be assassinated or taken into custody to be tried on false charges of trying to usurp power. So you see the point. The point also is that not all the U.S. military forces will agree. So our army will be split apart, just like it was during the first Civil War, and the real shooting will begin. By the time it's done, there will be not much left of the United States. So this is not a good scenario. I'd really, those of us on our side who advocated, I'd really say, buds, think twice about that. This is why, not everything's lost. Actually, we're winning. We need to voice our opinions loud, polite, but firm. For one thing, we men are supposed to be in the historical way, we're supposed to be heads of our family. And this is the most important responsibility that we have. We have to live our life properly. It doesn't mean abusing our women or wives, but before we marry them, we better be able to afford to support them and our children. If we marry a woman and we expect her to pay half the bills, how is she going to respect us? She will have more loyalty to her boss who signs her paycheck than to us. All the horror stories that are told about divorces, how men lose in court and lose everything they own, is simply because they fail to earn the woman's respect. If you want to marry a woman, if you want to maintain a family, make sure first you can afford to have a nice home for her, nice nest for her, and to be able to afford to live a comfortable lifestyle and pay for her and your own children. Otherwise, there is no reason to get married. Otherwise, you are asking for a lot of heartache. And this is part of being a man. This is part of being responsible. And if you tell me it's hard to find ladies who want to live in traditional marriage, I'd say you're looking in the wrong places. You won't find them in liberal compi of the progressive tax-supported universities. You won't find them in large cities. You won't find them in bars and saloons and nightclubs. You have to look elsewhere. And every man, the whole process of trying to find a good woman, it needs to be unique to every man. I'm not in business of making suggestions how to find a woman, but they are there. There are many women, I'd say majority of women want to live traditional lifestyle, as long as they meet the man who is willing to support and protect them. Also, there's only one set of values that guarantees peaceful and prosperous society, and those are found in the Holy Scriptures. You don't have to believe in Christianity or Judaism. You don't have to be religious. You could be an atheist, but if you follow at least 10 commandments, and if at least you're familiar with the New Testament, and you follow the spirit, if not the letter, of Mosaic laws and of the teachings of Christ, you'll find out that your life will be a lot easier, that there will be a lot less conflict, and those conflicts that arise a lot easier to resolve. The good book is the only authority, is the only instruction on how to create and live in a peaceful and prosperous society. Every time we walk away from those values, every time we try to replace them with the collectivist teachings, with progressive teachings, millions are dead. Misery. Look at what happened during the French Revolution. Look what happened during the Russian Revolution, Chinese Revolution, Pol Pot in Cambodia, Cuba, Venezuela, Congo, and many other places of the world where people decided that there is no God and the made man rules are superior to those made by our Creator. It's simply anything other than Christianity leads to the rivers of blood. Just ask Muslims living in the Muslim world, how secure are they? They can't wait to invade Europe and North America. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it more than I can. Visit my website, wildnews.us, and I will talk to you later.